G'day mates, welcome back to Power Wheels, the channel where we bring you the latest yarns, reviews, and deep dives into the rides that get us from A to B and everywhere in between. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and chuck us a like, because we are all about keeping you in the loop on what's hot in the car scene. Today we are talking about a rig that heaps of Aussies have either owned, driven, or at least thought about buying at some point, the Toyota RAV4. And now, with the 2026 model coming into play, there's a fair bit of chatter about what's new, what stayed the same, and whether it's still worth your hard-earned. Now, the RAV4 has been a massive player in the mid-size SUV game for yonks. Toyota's been shifting these things like hot pies at the footy, and for good reason. It's practical, reliable as anything, and it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to keep on the road. But with the 2026 update, Toyota's clearly aiming to keep the crown, especially with so much competition coming from Mazda's CX-5, Hyundai Tucson, Kia Sportage, and even some of the Euro brands that are trying to muscle in. First impressions of the 2026 RAV4? Well, it doesn't stray too far from the formula that Aussies already know and love. The exterior has copped a few tweaks, sharper headlights, a bit more aggression in the front grille, and some smoother lines down the side panels. It looks modern without being over the top, which is what Toyota usually nails. They've made the wheels a bit chunkier on the higher trims, which gives it that proper tough SUV stance, even if you're just ducking down to Woolies for a grocery run. Inside the cabin, Toyota's definitely put in some work. The tech has had a solid upgrade, and that's something buyers have been asking for. You're now looking at a bigger infotainment screen, sharper graphics, and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto straight out of the box. The digital driver display is crisp, and the layout feels a lot less cluttered than older models. Toyota's also taken a crack at improving the materials. Soft touch surfaces on more areas, a bit of leather trimming if you're splashing out on the higher spec models, and even the base trim doesn't feel cheap. One thing Aussies always harp on about is space, and Toyota knows it. The 2026 RAV4's boot space is still one of the best in its class. Plenty of room for the esky, camping gear, or the family dog. The rear seats fold flat easily, so if you're hauling bigger stuff, no dramas there. Passenger space is solid too, with good legroom and headroom even in the back, so no one's going to be whinging on those longer road trips. Now let's yarn about what's under the bonnet. Toyota's sticking with the powertrains that work: petrol, hybrid, and a plug-in hybrid option for those who want to cut down on servo visits. The hybrid's still the pick of the bunch for most Aussies, offering a sweet balance between power and fuel economy. You're looking at around 5 to 6 litres per 100 Ks, which is bloody good for an SUV of this size. The plug-in hybrid has more punch and gives you that electric-only range for the school runs or city commutes, but the price tag is higher, so it'll only make sense for certain buyers. Driving the RAV4 has always been about comfort and ease, and the 2026 version keeps that vibe going. The steering feels light but predictable, the suspension soaks up bumps nicely, and it doesn't feel like a tank when you're parking in tight spots. It's not meant to be a hardcore off-roader, but Toyota does offer an AWD option if you want a bit more grip for dirt roads or weekends away. For most people though, the front-wheel drive will do the trick. Safety is another big-ticket item, and Toyota's Safety Sense package has been beefed up again. You're getting adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, and a sharper version of the pre-collision system. The new tech feels less intrusive compared to older systems, so it doesn't nag you as much while you're behind the wheel. For families, knowing the RAV4 has a 5-star ANCAP safety rating is peace of mind that's hard to beat. Now, let's talk money. Pricing for the 2026 RAV4 in Australia is expected to be a touch higher than the outgoing model, which is no surprise given inflation and the extra kit. You're still going to be looking at a starting price in the low to mid-40s for the base petrol, with hybrids starting closer to the high 40s, and the plug-in hybrids pushing well into the 60s. It's not cheap, but when you factor in Toyota's rep for reliability and strong resale value, it stacks up better than most of the competition. Something worth pointing out is Toyota's wait times. The RAV4 hybrid especially has been notorious for long delays in recent years, with some buyers waiting months on end. Hopefully Toyota's sorted out supply chains by 2026, but if you're keen, it's probably wise to get in line early rather than leaving it to the last minute. So who's the 2026 RAV4 really for? Well, it's still the all-rounder SUV. Perfect for families who need space and safety, tradies who want something practical but not as massive as a Hilux, and anyone who wants a reliable daily driver without mucking around with constant servicing or repairs. If you're the sort who likes adventure, the AWD Hybrid will get you out to the bush or the beach without stress. And if you're more of a city slicker, the standard hybrid or plug-in hybrid will save you coin on fuel. Competitor-wise, the RAV4 doesn't have it all its own way. The Mazda CX-5 is still a favorite for those who want sharper handling and a more premium feel inside. The Hyundai Tucson and Kia Sportage offer plenty of tech and good value too. But here's the kicker, none of them quite match Toyota's bulletproof reliability track record, and that's why so many Aussies keep coming back to the RAV4. At the end of the day, the 2026 Toyota RAV4 doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it polishes up a package that was already one of the best. You're getting more tech, better looks, and the same practicality that's made it a household name. It's not the cheapest option out there, but if you want peace of mind, low running costs, and a car that'll probably outlast your mortgage, the RAV4 is still a ripper choice. And that just about wraps it up for today's video. Let us know in the comments if you reckon the 2026 RAV4 is worth the hype, or if you've got your eye on one of the competitors instead. If you've owned a RAV4 before, share your experiences, because it helps heaps of other viewers make their choice. Thanks for watching Power Wheels, the place where we keep you clued up on the rides that matter most. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss the next review. Until then, drive safe, enjoy the journey, and we'll catch you on the next one.